Welcome back to DR Sports. It's 2:30. It's a Saturday. It's the Saturday Football Show with myself and my brother, Matty Renton. We've also got Tosin, not Toby, Tosin, and we've also got Matisse. What a show this is going to be. But Brendan Rodgers is looking stressed, if I'm honest. But it's a difficult situation with him because he knows things aren't going well, but I feel like there's this feeling that the owners also know that if they sack him, it's going to cost them a lot of money.
Of course.
Yeah.
So at this stage, if there's no one else out there that you want, it's kind of just like a stalemate, and no one really cares on both ends.
It's just weird. Like, why, if you're going to, you didn't back him in the summer. Like, I don't think they should be surprised that Leicester are doing this. The Premier League is a beast. If teams like Brentford and West Ham can buy like the likes of Paqueta and stuff, like this is the Premier League, the nature of it. You have to keep spending to keep with the pack. And if you're not going to back a manager, don't be mad when he's not doing what you expect him to do with this team. They're not good enough to be challenging the way they were for Europe 2 seasons ago. So
there's no real dignity in football anymore in terms of managers walking away as there used to be. Early 2000s, these managers would walk away if they felt that they'd done as best as they could. But now everybody waits for a paycheck. And Brendan Rodgers is doing that. You know what I mean? He's waiting for the payoff. And why wouldn't he, in a sense? Do you know what I mean? He's waiting for that payoff. He's done the best he can. He's
like
hit the
Isak,
Leicester ceiling.
Like Isak and Bruno Guimaraes. They were waiting for the paycheck from Newcastle.
Nah, don't you talk about.
Oh, okay.
Could he potentially get them relegated? And does he want that on his CV?
He can't get them relegated.
Surely not, right? With the quality that they've got, but they are at the bottom of the table.
I mean,
so
listen, 10 games in, let's look at the table after 38. You'd like to think, well, Leicester fans certainly would, that they're not going to be in that bottom 3. But from what they've shown us, I mean, is this as poor a start that you had last season, or is it worse? Because obviously Newcastle turned it around in November.
I think it's the same. Yeah, about 5 points was about the same, and we turned it around. But Leicester aren't too big to go down. We've seen big teams go down in the past. We've seen Newcastle went down with Michael Owen up front.
Ivan Toney back amongst the goals, 100%
serious player
from the penalty spot so far in his Brentford career. 30 out of 30 penalties.
That's
captain as well last night. Speaking of James Maddison going to the World Cup, do you think, and I'll ask all of you this, starting with Tosin, do you think he is the shoe-in as the backup centre-forward to go to the World Cup, considering he didn't even get a minute in his last call-up?
I think if you ask the people, he should be. But if you ask Southgate, I don't think so. Because it's weird. Why would you bring him into the team? There's so much fanfare made about him being in the team and not give him any minutes at all. And it seems like Southgate's made his mind up about who's going to be starting, who's going to be heavily involved in the World Cup. So I see Toney being in the team. I just don't really see him getting much games. And it's weird as well because you almost want to see how he does with the team in Nations League doesn't really count as competitive matches, but you get what I mean. In match settings, and I don't think I've seen enough from him in match settings to suggest that Southgate is going to go to him when Kane is misfiring in the England team.
It was mental how he didn't even get 10, 20 minutes in those 2 games. To not even get 20 minutes here and there. Like,
that's poor.
Why not? I mean, he offers so much. I'm not having this thing about target man just because he's a big athletic forward. He's so good on the ball.
Really
his
good.
runs are good. His movement's great.
Technically,
his finishing's brilliant.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He started at Newcastle.
All-round
he started at Newcastle, and then he went I remember when he went from Peterborough to Brentford, and people were talking about him. And when Brentford got promoted, they were saying, "Can he do what he did in the Championship, in the Premier League?" And last season he was good. This season I feel like he's even better because you're seeing more of his technical ability, the way he lays off chances for teammates as well. I think he's a really good player. It would be a shame to not see him play.
That's big up to Swagger Swaggy, who says, come on Chelsea, we'll win everything. Liverpool are finished.
oh well, unfortunate for you.
Nothing to do with me, mate. I was just reading it out. Mane back to Liverpool next season, says Dan Carts. Probably not, mate, if I'm honest. He wanted to leave, so that's pretty much it. That's how Klopp does business.
Gone.
He doesn't let you back once you've gone.
They are gone. Get over it.
It's fun on the football.
I think this is why I go Haaland over Mbappe, just because of these off the pitch. I mean, listen, again, without knowing the ins and outs, maybe we shouldn't say this, but I just feel like I don't think Haaland would ever kick up a fuss like this. And if they are the two that you are comparing right now, that's who I go with.
Yeah, I mean, Mbappe is the better all-round player, I think, but Haaland, in terms of what you said there, and you love seeing what Haaland sees off the pitch, don't you? Did a brilliant thing with Gary Neville again the other day. Seen that he loves kebabs.
Pizza kebabs as
Pizza
well.
Pizza kebabs, yeah.
Gary Neville said, what do you eat? Like, look at the size of him, the goals he scores. And he did say that he doesn't eat it a lot, or he can't eat it a lot.
Someone in the background was saying, giving him signals. That's why.
He said wine, didn't he? He goes, "I love wine and pizza."
I heard Haaland.
Friday night, that.
I heard Haaland off the pitch, like
Any night.
at Dortmund. I heard he was like a guy that used to like go out a lot. And
Really?
That's what I heard.
Clubs
Because that's because his injury record at
Big
Dortmund
German
was actually
raves.
quite shocking.
Yeah, it was.
And apparently he didn't really take
Undersex.
care of himself. And that's one of the things. That's one of the question marks that people had over him coming here. But people were saying Pep will sort that
Yeah,
out. in
Pep
him.
will.
So it's working so far.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
He just knows everything. What's your party trick? I mean, that's pretty cool what he can do. What would you say your party trick
My
is?
party trick is I can't see.
Not much of a trick.
So anything past Matty becomes blur, and I think that's quite incredible when you really think about
But
it.
then you put your glasses on.
And then I can see everything.
Magic.
So it's not a party trick,
Yeah.
is it?
Well,
Is it?
it is in its own.
Blindness.
I can do this. That's it. That's what I can do. Like,
Ooh, what is that?
basically just like bend.
Oh yeah, it's a bit.
Ooh.
Oh what?
Yeah, so and do this on someone on Halloween and like make a weird noise, they get freaked out.
I've also got a lazy eye as well, so I can see over there when I'm looking there. People
That
point
is,
out
that
many
is
a
good,
time.
to be fair.
Yeah, that is pretty
Yeah,
good.
No, that is impressive. So you've got a bendy finger. Proves that. to be
What's your
honest.
party trick?
Spanish.
Well, maybe that, but I don't know, like impressions maybe.
Impressions. Yeah, definitely.
No, I've been at a few parties where they go, "Do your Michael Owen again, go on."
Come on, let's hear Michael
All
Owen.
right, mum.
Come on, let's hear it.
So when you go around with
That's
Sunday
a good
dinner, like
wedding.
that.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's probably that. I can do a couple weird finger things.
Can you do a Rafa Benitez?
We have a great squad. It's not the Steve Gerrard, the Torres is a very good player, but I think we have to look at the fact. The fact, the squad, the quality is very good. Gerrard, Steve is a good player.
See, look, in the comments, do a Michael Owen. You know, I'm not a performing monkey, but I will do it anyway,
let's
because
see.
the games are
Let's see Michael
quite
Owen.
boring at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great, really, to have Towson on the show. Matty Renton did a big rant about
That
me
is
the other
class.
day, talking about the fact that obviously my chose to go back to Liverpool. They didn't want me, much like my wife after I came back. Anyway, I could do it all day.
That's
Really
class.
good.
Unreal.
Let
That.
us know in the comments. Keep them coming. What is your party trick, Liza?
I really want Sunderland to come up now. I just
So do
want to
I.
see. I just
Big
want to see
time.
the rivalry.
Score prediction for tomorrow then?
2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scorers?
Wilson and Bruno. Yeah.
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 Wow, I had 1-1. I'll stick to that.
I'm going to go with... I like a 2-2 in that one.
I'd be happy with a draw. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
Definitely take a draw as well. But I think we can go there and get 3.
I would love Newcastle to win, but I can see
need a
2-1 United win.
Okay. Let us know in the comments what
What you
you
seeing?
think the score is going to be tomorrow. 2-2.
Matisse.
Oh yeah, I'm
1-1,
going.
he
I'm
said.
going 1-1. Yeah, yeah, I'm
1-1,
going
yeah.
with a draw. Yeah.
Big up to Matisse in the building from Tasibo.
Oh, big up. Big up.
He
Is
also...
is that a site?
He also
moment
says your
again?
footy knowledge is very questionable.
See, I knew it. you see, I was saying big up, and then I retracted it immediately. I was like, I think he's about to have one here on me. What do you mean my football knowledge is questionable?
not
Because
me.
because I didn't say Bruno was a top player.
I tell him.
I think he's a good. I think he's a
you're
good
very
player.
knowledgeable.
I think
It's
he's a
not
good
me.
player, but
Yeah,
he's yet to really achieve anything apart from winning Player of the Month awards. So
that's fair actually. He's a good player, not a great player.
Yeah, he's not
Because
a great
United
player.
painted him out to be this world-class great player.
they had him in Steven Gerrard and Lampard comparisons in that first season.
That's a joke. Like, that's what I was thinking. If I was Frankie de Jong, like I know obviously Barca, I would have left. It's like this is weird. Your club is treating you this way. They're willing to sell you, like they're just waiting for a club to bring, like, and you're happy to stay there. That's
He wants
so-
his money though. Would you leave if someone owed you 150 million? Are you moving?
You're not, bro.
Nah,
No,
I'm not. But what they trying to negotiate with Man United?
I'm smashing up offices.
Where Man
I can't
United
lie.
had to like pay the wages as
That's why no one took him.
Listen.
They said, I ain't paying that.
Yeah.
Pay him off and then we'll buy him.
He should be smashing Laporta's office up. I'm telling you, he should be
he
in
should
there
be. Yeah.
smashing the place up. Where's my money? Like because
Piqué.
what's mad is they've taken his money that they owe him and they've spent it on
Give
other
it to
players.
new guys.
Yeah, to the new guys. It's not like
Yeah.
you know when someone owes you money, like your
And then you
friend.
see them buying trainers.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, hang on,
If your
what,
friend-
you owe me £2 bills,
If
bro.
your friend
What's
owes you
going on?
money, but you can see that they're ordering pot
Wonder what that
noodles off
dressing room is
Amazon,
like.
it's fine. Like, we can see that you don't have any money, you're eating pot noodles. But if you're buying strawberries,
Or if you see them on holiday.
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
Got
what
an
is
Instagram
going-
story.
do you
take the
forget
base, like
about that if the
steakhouses
team's
and that.
successful though? If
No.
if he's now part of like a Champions League winning team,
No.
which they're obviously not going to be, and he has this crazy amount of glittering success, do you just forget about?
Nah,
the
he's still owing me money,
150 M's?
100%.
No.
No,
And
he's
I
still
think
owing me
Barca
money.
fans are aware of the fact that their reputation within the football community has
Yeah.
plummeted. Reece James, as we found out live on the weekend preview show yesterday, the game day preview show, he's out.
He's out of there.
He's out for a while. We
Out
had
of
a
the
comment
club,
just
probably.
there that's gone now, but it said something along the lines of, watch how Chelsea struggle now because they rely on Reece James so much.
Yeah, I mean, Reece James is for me our best player. I really do. I think he's indispensable. He's one of those players that walks into any team in the world. Real Madrid wanted him. Man City wanted him to replace Walker. Thankfully, he signed a new deal. Guy can do it all. One of the best shooters in the team. Best crosser. Great tackler. Locking up players. Making Zaha switch wings. Dealt with Leao. He's just an incredible footballer, and I knew that from when he was on loan at Wigan and they moved him into central midfield. Do you know what I mean? And made him captain on the final day. I think for us, he has been almost, we've over relied upon him. What frustrates me about Chelsea is that we knew that he had some injury concerns from the last few years, and we didn't buy a right back who we trusted to deputise him and keep our style of play, because Azpilicueta is obviously a lot older. He's not as he's not a modern day fullback
Over
in
10
terms
years
of,
older.
Yeah. And he's not a modern day fullback that you're expecting to overlap and stretch teams and, give you the same threat. So I feel like we're compromising ourselves a little bit, as great as he's been for us. So that does frustrate me, because that was a warning sign that we should have known about from ages ago, but we didn't address that in the summer. But like I said, we maybe had too much to do. Kante's out, but...
Going to miss the World Cup as well, isn't he?
We're used to Kante being out, and again, it's the same thing with you guys with the midfield, where you need a midfielder, go and spend the money and bring in somebody to replace these injury-prone players. Cover and Kante, injury-prone now. They're just bringing injury upon injury upon injury, and we're starting to get to a point with football where who's not injury-prone? Do you know what I mean? It's getting to the point where everybody's injury-prone. I don't know.
just playing too many games.
Yeah,
Way too many
so
games,
it's insane.
Well, there you go. According to Robbie and Lee, Arsenal are the real deal. Will they stay on top of the table this weekend?
I think so. I think they will. I can't see us losing to Leeds, and we are the real deal this season. We're not obviously going to win the title, but we are matching the hype that's being said of us. It's a good team. Good team, well coached, consistent, together. I'd be surprised if Leeds can pull off a shock win.
Sarr has actually saved that penalty for Wolves, by the way. So a massive missed chance there for Forest away at Molineux.
Brennan Johnson with the
Come
miss.
on.
Brennan Johnson with the miss.
Predictions
Wow.
still.
Well, listen, tough place to go and score a penalty with 15 minutes to go as the away team, and he's missed it. Jose Sarr saves it. Do you think Arsenal are the real deal?
In terms of...
Well, you tell me. What can they achieve?
What
does
makes
the
a real deal?
mean? Exactly.
Top four will make
What do
them.
you think?
Can they what? Top four?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get top four. I said they'd finish third at the start of the season, maybe. Fair,
Second.
I mean, can they win the league? The Europa League.
I'll take
They
that.
can't win the Premier League.
I'll take that.
They will not win the Premier League.
No.
I'll take
It's
that.
way too early to be talking about that. But they've looked very impressive. I tell you what, the summer business has been spot on. Saliba coming back looks outstanding. But unfortunately, you just can't catch Man City.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't be able to catch Man City in the end. But they've looked very impressive. Arteta looks like he's finally getting his style of play embedded there with with the team that he's brought in through the door. So they've looked really, really good. Better than everyone expected, I think. But I think they'll finish top four.
Yeah. Because at the start of the season, before the season started, I thought we'd finish third or fourth. But I'm just changing that. I'm going to go second.
Second, yeah.
Second. I don't think... I agree with you. I can't see Arsenal winning the league. But it's just nice to be there. So
Definitely.
Oh, this is a massive overachievement right now.
Huge
what is going on.
overachievement.
And I think, you could say the back-to-back 8th places were underachieving, but this is balancing that out now. Like, all of that pain and embarrassment and banter club and all that stuff, if they finish second,
Huge that.
that's chalked off all that other crap from before, 100%. And then it all starts to make sense in terms of, you know, not bringing a striker in last January to close in top 4 because you wanted to wait on Jesus, bringing in Zinchenko to be that inverted left back that allows Xhaka to overlap more and get further forward. And it's quite incredible, to be fair. I do agree that people do need to hold their horses in terms of title run. And the reason why I say that is because it's not even about it's not even just about squad depth and experience in terms of the managerial situation. The World Cup's coming, of course, that's going to interrupt things, but the title race is grueling, and Liverpool know that. When you've got somebody breathing down your neck constantly, you know, not breathing up your bum, like you said, breathing down your neck. Breathing down your neck.
Slapping asses, yeah.
Breathing down your neck, week in, week out. It's going to take its toll on those young players.
It's true.
And it's going to take its toll on that young manager.
Yeah.
And that is the difference, is being able to cope with that pressure when you wake up in the morning knowing that you have to win. It's mandatory. You have no option but to win.
We have to wait until we get a spring for me. We've seen what happened with the top 4 in the spring last
That
year.
being
Last
said,
month.
though, they do look like mentality monsters this season. I mean, I'm just coining what Klopp called Liverpool last season. No, but on the real, Arsenal actually do. Like, for me, they actually...
need to do that, we are.
I'm not trying to take
tomorrow.
I'm not trying to take the mickey out of Liverpool, but like the team,
I know you weren't, but he was
on it today.
the team are resilient.
Good to turn up.
The team are really. They look really resilient. They look like, okay, cool. Things don't go their way. They don't get their heads down and cry and moan. They're like, okay, cool. This is the situation. Let's get up. Let's make something happen.
Because you have conceded some goals, and it's like, no, regardless of you conceding the goal, it's not changing the tie of the game.
Exactly.
Like it's not making it turn into a capitulation or heads are dropping and suddenly now it spirals out of control. They're just like, all right, we conceded, get back on the horse, bang. And I don't like to do this, mad. But whatever ultras atmosphere you're creating at the Emirates, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Because they're right behind the team, to be fair to them.
Oh, it's good to,
you know?
finally turn up to this stadium. It's been 16 years in the making.
Finally,
I mean,
wait, that's not
what
fair.
I can't get my head
That's
around
not
is like they think they've invented playing a song before the teams walk out.
Do they? Do they
They've got
actually
that
think
North
that?
London Forever
Yeah,
song,
yeah,
Louis
yeah.
Dunford, right? Which is a good song. But they're like, oh yeah, we've
but
got this
that's-
song now, mate. You know what I mean? We walk out, we're all buzzing. What about You Never Walk Alone? What about...
Bleeding Races.
What was it? What's your one called?
Bleeding Races.
Yeah, there you
Bleeding
go.
Races
We've all
been
got
going
one.
since the 80s,
We can all have a
isn't it?
push and a pull back.
Yeah, I can't speak for the fans that are saying
All
that.
full of bullshit.
It's just nice, basically.
AGT, is Matty a tosser for never giving Arsenal credit? He always becomes quiet on Arsenal mention. I'm pretty sure you just did give him credit.
Didn't I just give them?
No,
the
he's
credit
a
there?
tosser, though.
Not good
Massive
enough. Not good
tosser.
enough. Not enough credit. You
Big
should have said
tosser.
they could win the World Cup this
I
winter.
don't understand. I'm just literally giving them credit.
Do you
The
not think they can
players,
win the World Cup?
coach. Yeah,
they'll win
sure
the
they can.
Euros.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's
I
better.
reckon. Do you know what?
Oh, Tavern,
That's better. Much
I
more.
would go as far as
Much
saying
more credit.
Arsenal could, and I don't say this lightly, they could be in with a chance to win Eurovision this year as well,
Yeah, I got back them.
which is in Liverpool this year actually. Eurovision.
Oh, you beat us to that.
No, and Glasgow.
At least some sort of
we were
Europe
the
will
last
be coming
one.
to Liverpool this season.
Sorry, how many Champions Leagues have you won?
Okay, that's fair enough.
Get off! Get off! Oh God. Yeah. Is that good enough
Arsenal
for you?
fans are
6-0.
also on this journey with us. You're not excluded, guys. Arsenal fans at home, yeah? Remember when you were singing Arteta out?
It's true.
Xhaka,
It's true.
get out of our club.
Hulk Hogan.
You're on this journey with us, so make sure that you repent
It's
with
true.
us. Yeah?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
make sure
yeah.
that you say sorry and that you were wrong and that you didn't see this coming
Well
and
said.
that this team has performed well above your expectations.
Flip-flops.
You make sure you say that with us.
Well
yeah?
said.
Because we as
Flip-flops.
rivals, we don't have to defend your club
feel
because we
like
don't
giving them a
support them.
clap.
You do. So you support your club, you get behind them, and you make sure that you say sorry too.
Yeah, it's true.
Outstanding speech.
Yeah,
Very
well
good
done.
speech. Yeah.
No, don't clap
myself.
yourself. Don't,
I will.
That's when you've just ruined it. Don't clap yourself.
Can't have passed a big City win for me.
I wouldn't
Here's
be
devil's
surprised if Salah
advocate.
scores tomorrow. I genuinely would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Here's
He
devil's
loves
advocate
City.
though. I mean, I pretty much said this before they came up to St James's and you drew 3-3 with them. No one gave you a chance in that game.
No.
They can be got at. You scored 3
Facts.
against them, mate. They can be got at.
We should have won that game.
And at Anfield, you should have definitely won that
Yeah.
game.
Defensively,
Definitely
they
Definitely should have won that
they look
game.
weaker this season
Bro,
defensively.
those
personally.
I mean, look at them individually. They have 4 world-class centre-backs, I think. Stones, Laporte, Diaz and Akanji.
World class, really?
Stones isn't world
they're
class.
definitely all up there,
I
aren't
wouldn't
they?
say Akanji's world class.
I'd say Diaz
wouldn't
is the
say
best.
Akanji's
Diaz and
world
Laporte are
Diaz and
maybe the
Laporte.
best there.
Laporte and
Especially
Diaz,
Diaz.
Akanji's looking good as well, but when you look at all of them individually, I don't think many of them have had a 5-10 game period where they've stayed together. It changes all the time. So I'll ask you now, is there a case for you to build for Liverpool to win this game tomorrow and Man City to be got at?
If your defence wasn't worse, then yeah. But your defence has been horrendous, and you've got you've got the best striker in the world up there in Erling Haaland, who will be chomping at the bit, as they
licking
say.
his lips,
to feast upon that injury-plagued defence. There's no Trent, which is maybe a saving grace for you guys in terms of defensively, but now there's no Konate, and Konate was going to be a big piece in the puzzle to stop Haaland. Now it's just Van Dijk, who's been defending with aura since the start of the season. So Gomez comes into centre back. Maybe if James Milner's playing right back, that's a big problem.
Forfeit the thing.
He can do a job there, though.
Foden making these runs off Haaland, and you've got Grealish on that left-hand side potentially, or whoever. I don't see how you're going to be able to cope. And then the midfield on top of that, in front of it, is not on the level needed to shield that defence. The midfield
well,
is
this
a
was
mess.
the next question, right?
So-
we spoke about the
stressed
midfield.
Yeah.
If Liverpool do stick with the 4-2-4 that we've been playing the last 2 games, can you even do that against City, considering they have 3 central midfielders?
Definitely
Never see the
not.
ball.
It'll be
are
a
we
massacre.
seeing a 4-3-3?
I think he'll
tomorrow?
go 4-3-3.
Got to. It'll be a
Has to.
massacre
Yeah.
if you do that 4-2-4.
Say that again?
Halloween will come early.
Massacre.
Michael Myers sentence if you do that at Anfield tomorrow, like 4-2-4. I hope you do. Be entertaining.
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want.
And then I don't know. It's like there's too many parts at Liverpool right now that are not making sense in terms of Salah. I know he got a hat trick in midweek against Rangers. It was like a moment of madness, but he's not on form overall.
True.
He's a big part of your plans. Diaz is not available, which I think is a massive miss.
Jota, though.
Jota, yeah, I
Nunez,
don't know.
I think, will score. I think Nunez will score.
I prefer if Firmino's.
Hang on,
I think
that's 2
if
that you give us.
I think
Salah and Nunez.
That's
You
How
have to-
many they
That's from
get?
your score prediction.
you have to start Firmino over Nunez surely as well, isn't it? Defensively.
Ooh, now this is one of those 2 players is going to get dropped tomorrow because of the fact that we're probably going to be forced to play
And it's
3
got
in
to
the
be
middle.
Nunez.
But this is the thing, 2 and 2 for
No,
Nunez.
don't drop
2
him.
and 2.
Not when his confidence is getting up.
No,
I would play Nunez.
it-
So you play
yeah, I'd
Nunez
play
because
Nunez.
Firmino's been banging in the goals.
Firmino knows his role. He knows
He's
that
been
he
brilliant
can be
though
the
as
main
well.
man.
He's the older head
If
that's
you
just
need
gonna
me
come
to
in.
chill
But
for a
do
bit,
you not need that
I'll let the
experience?
new man shine a
I
little
really
bit.
like Bobby
I
Firmino.
fully
Oh
agree.
mate, I love. He's
think
honestly
he's class.
top 2,
I think
top
he's
3
class,
Liverpool
mate.
players for me in Klopp
He's
era.
absolutely class.
Played the most games under Klopp, so
I like it.
Would you not want him?
Except for the fact that he
would you
always
not,
scores against Arsenal.
Would you not ask Firmino to cut out Rodri, stop him from getting on the ball, getting time to pick up his head?
But this is the conundrum we find
Nunez can
ourselves
put the work
looking
in,
at, man. He can
I-
put the
I'm
work
just
in,
thinking
but has he got the
Firmino's-
head to
Yeah.
not get rattled and stay
Sent off.
composed? For me, it's like if you go with Firmino and you take Nunez out, you are
And
allowing
allow Salah
Rodri
to
to have a
run
bit more
centrally
time.
again.
Yeah, I hear that. that. But if you drop Nunez for this game, like Matty said, after 2 in 2, his confidence is just starting to go like that. You drop him, he's going to go.
He came here up for the big games.
Yeah,
but-
Came here
You
up for the
start
moments.
him in these
I
big
start
games.
him,
I don't
man.
agree,
'Cause
but
bit of a vocal point.
He's a goals machine. He just needs time. He's going to get goals. I think they should start him.
Whenever Klopp brings in new players, he doesn't just throw them in every single game. Keita eased him in. Fabinho eased him in. Keita,
Robbo.
Robbo. He always eases in players, and I think just because Nunez costs a lot of money, I don't think he should change that because it's worked. It's Konate. Every single player that he's brought in and he's eased in and he's let them settle, and not just like panicked. They've settled and they've started to play really well, barring obviously injuries for Keita all the time. And I think he's actually been decent for Liverpool. He just can't stay fit.
He hasn't played this season.
So for me, I feel like Firmino, what he could do for you tactically,
That's a good point.
and allow Salah to make those runs inside because Salah, for me, he's the key man. He has to be on form in this game.
But then you don't play him up front when you've just spent all that money on Nunez and Firmino's in form. Because who then would? I mean, you could play Harvey Elliott.
No, I'm not saying
in
play
Salah's
Salah up front. I'm
position.
playing play Salah off the right. Play for like just go back to kind of back
What
to the
Liverpool do
template. What
best.
Liverpool do best. Because Nunez is I don't know. I feel like him being the centerpiece is making Salah have to stay out more wide, and you're taking away from Salah a bit.
Yeah.
And Salah's the guy.
Yeah, no,
Still
for
at
sure.
Liverpool.
Salah is that
Yeah.
guy still, as you saw the other night. And those 3 goals, I think the second and third were him playing as a number 9. But again, you don't play him as a number 9 when you've got Nunez. No.
No.
I guess Nunes just needs to adjust the way he plays to Liverpool.
Yeah, Klopp said already that Liverpool are out of the title race, which I'd agree with.
Yeah.
We're very close to finishing in the Premier League as well, by the way. But Pep says they could still be in it if Liverpool win on Sunday. I mean, if you beat City, let's not forget, Christmas time we were 14 points behind City.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
We get to the end of the season, we're 1 point behind them. Let's go around the table and do our
Game over for him.
predictions then for Liverpool City. What do you reckon the score's going to be?
You know what? 2-2. Liverpool 2, City 2.
I think that's a sensible scoreline.
Well, you're not going to like this one.
Well, I'll just
He's gonna
cover
be a
my ears
massacre.
for this. What is it? Go on then, mate. How many?
So I think Salah will score. I said I
Nunes
think
will
Nunes will score.
Right, so that's
So it's going
two.
to be Liverpool 2, Manchester City 5.
I did
This
not
guy.
expect that, bro.
It's
I
the
was
way you
thinking
said it.
3
Yeah,
top.
I read it out like it was official. I'm rounding up.
You read it out. You read it out like a result.
The Saudi money got Newcastle fans.
Yeah.
confidence
The
this
way
season.
you read that out.
Crazy,
Wow. Winning away at
Absolutely
United and now
crazy.
slagging off Liverpool. Wow. Saudi
Full
money
time at Anfield.
does something to you.
Sorry, mate.
Well, there you go.
I
Let us
would
know
much
in the
rather be
comments.
Liverpool.
Thank you.
I would rather be
Appreciate it,
Liverpool
mate.
win, but I
Thank
can't.
you very much. Matty is a wind-up, says Mike Z. He is,
What do you
absolutely.
mean?
He is. Right then, I'm going to go with a Liverpool 2-1 win. What did you say?
3-1 Man City.
3-1 Man City. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.